Now, of course, for the summertime, a lot of people would say that is a terrible time to release your game because everybody's outside, right? But nowadays, with people actually acknowledging that you can play games from anywhere, and it doesn't matter if you're on vacation or not, especially with the Steam Deck nowadays, you can play it in the bed, you can play it away from your monitor. It's just a lot of different ways to play AAA video games nowadays. So I believe there's been a lot more emphasis on games coming out in the summertime, which leads me to Summer Games Fest 2024, which is a major event for the video game industry, and not only for the video game industry, but approximately 250 plus trailers were shown throughout Summer Games Fest. Well, no, over the weekend. Over the weekend, 250 plus trailers were shown. And some of them, if not, well, yeah, definitely not all of them. Some of them, as far as regarding the Summer Games Fest, will be shown right here. Make sure to click Analytic Dreams on Spotify to see the video along with the audio. But basically, some of the biggest things about the Summer Games Fest is that it's all about the indie developers, I believe. I feel like when Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo started their own conference, which is why E3 died in the first place, because E3 used to be the crucible, the Super Bowl of releasing your video game trailer and the public just going crazy over the announcement. Nowadays, it's more of, with the evolution of technology, of course, everybody just realized, oh, we can just stream and have our own showcase. No need to go to E3, pay the fee to be on stage when we can just host our own showcase. So that's when E3, started to go downhill. And I just believe COVID was the nail in the coffin, because that was definitely a moment in time for all the true old veteran. Sorry, I didn't mean to mix in old with that, but true veteran gamers remember how big E3 used to be, and it was definitely a moment in time when it went away. As if you look up RIP E3, even when I covered it, I mean, E3 has given us some of the best moments ever, and in that segment, I basically highlighted all of the biggest moments which made E3 what it is and what is remembered as today. So that being said, one of the Summer Games Fest, which has garnered a lot of hype, was the Summer Game Fest, which featured a lot of different video games, but also featured a lot of different stories with Deer and Boy, Koira, I think that's how you say it, and Neva. Basically, the story, that kind of breaks down the human experience and adventure. And some of the games, the story is even influenced by the COVID lockdown. I mean, talk about art imitating life. And then when it comes into the actual delivery, it was kind of mixed in with a lot of developer talk with gameplay, which is not always a bad thing. But I think if you're more on the newer side, I guess it would benefit having the public listen to you explain your game because they're not as familiar. But with that showcase like Xbox, which we're about to get into, and Ubisoft, which we're about to get into, having more established IPs, you can just kind of let the gameplay speak for itself. But because of a lot of these games coming from different genres, I mean, we have role, puzzle, and adventure mixed in throughout. Those type of games, I would assume, need some sort of explanation for people to understand what in the world they're looking at. And then, with that being said, we had anime type games with Abyss X Zero, Zodiac XX Leo, Battlesuit Aces, Metaphor, games like that really lended itself towards the anime. As far as the cyberpunk theme, shout out to one of the greatest games ever made, ever created, Cyberpunk 2077. But as far as that cyberpunk theme, had games like Psychochroma, Karma, The Dark World, Nobody Wants to Die, Dystopica. That's not dystopia, it's with a K, so it's Dystopica. But anyways, just a lot of showcases throughout the Game Fest spanning across multiple genres. So some of the notable ones was, of course, Alan Wake 2. A lot of people was really excited to see the expansion for the new storyline as far as notable game trailers and the DLC, because of course Alan Wake 2 is already out, so I don't want to confuse y'all with that fact. It's Alan Wake 2 Night Springs. That is the expansion with new storylines available now. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't even know it was available now. But that's the thing about Summer Games Fest. It's more about showing you games that's coming out soon, not a trailer and then you see 2027 or 2028. And it was another game that was one of I looked up the biggest ones, and the Killer Bean trailer got a lot of traction. That was pretty funny. Perfect Dark seemed to be a veteran gamer fan favorite as far as that franchise and what it used to be, and how they're coming back with a new iteration. And then you have, what was another standout? Let's see. Star Wars was Ubisoft. A lot of these are blending in with each other, but basically, there's a lot of games that was released, and the biggest thing you need to know is that the Lego Horizon Adventures was one of the biggest for this Summer Games Fest. Bloomhouse Games, Slitterhead, Karn, Wonderstop, Alan Wake 2 DLC, and the Phantom Blade Zero were among the fan favorite reveals for Summer Games Fest. So, of course, keeping all the other festivals considered, I'm not going to spend too much time on this one because I'm not going to lie. It's more niche. You have to really watch it for yourself and figure out what game is more marketable towards you. That's why I kind of highlighted some of the games in different genres, just in case if it piqued your interest. But obviously, at the end of the day, you'll probably still have to see it to believe it. So, at the end, the main purpose of having the Summer Games Fest was just to showcase the array of upcoming video games as far as it being released soon. And it's more it was trending more to niche and independent developers and innovative genre mashups versus the established IP. So if you go into Summer Games Fest expecting to see, a big IP reveal as far as DLC, is not going to happen. So I will lower your expectations, but still realize that indie developers are out here making bodies of work via creating a video game that could still be enjoyable, especially if it's not accepted by the masses, right? You can still personally enjoy these games, even though it's not the most popular. So that being said, click my link tree in my bio. Let me know on one of my social medias. What do you think about Summer Games Fest 2024? What is the game? If you watched the showcase, the entire showcase, what game stood out the most to you and why?